going on, everyone? Darkside Phil here, and welcome to a channel update for Sunday, January 20... shit. I think it's 23rd? 22nd or 23rd? 22nd, sorry. Sunday, January 22nd, 2012. A lot to talk about in this update, so please bear with me. A lot of good news, actually. A little bit of bad news, but lots of good news, and so let's get right to it. First of all, earlier this week, I actually put up a video regarding an update on SOPA, PIPA, all this internet censorship talk that's been going on that I've been mentioning here on DSPGaming and talking about and been trying to spread the word about for the past 6 months. But it finally kind of hit the mainstream media this week. If you were watching TV, the news, CNN, any of your, your nightly news shows, this was a hot topic. And finally it had broken through this media blackout that had been going on about these bills, because the people who were actually backing these internet censorship bills were actually the people who control television and the news. So for a very long time they were able to hold this back from the mainstream. Well, finally this week the stories broke. There was a massive online protest on Wednesday of this past week because so much attention was drawn to these bills and so much protest was strummed up. I have great news for everyone. It's official. As of January 20th, it was announced by the Senate Majority Leader that in no way, shape, or form would he be performing a vote on PIPA, which is the Senate form of this internet censorship bill. And he really doesn't feel the bill is ready to be approved by the Senate at all, and that it needs a hell of a lot more work. Pretty much defeating that bill at this point, because they had already passed it through committee. Now the Senate Majority Leader is basically saying, no, there's too much negative feedback from the American people about your bill. Obviously, if you think it's right and they think it's wrong, we're not going to vote on it. Go back to square one. So that's pretty much what happened with PIPA. On the flip side of that, SOPA, which is the version of the bill that's in the U.S. House of Representatives, was delayed a month, where they weren't going to talk about it until February, and now it's actually been announced that they're probably not going to be talking about it anymore. So, basically, if you want to know the truth, we won. We did. For months we've been talking about this issue. We've been spreading the word about it. Finally, we broke into the mainstream media, and the second that it hit the mainstream media, literally like a third of the people who had said they were supporting it in the U.S. government flip-flopped, said, oh no, we're opposed to it. All of the Republican presidential candidates who actually had a debate this week were asked a question about SOPA, and every single one of them said, oh no, I'm against internet censorship. So it's pretty funny how they try to do stuff under the radar without the American people knowing, and they try to push it into law really quickly over the holidays, and now all of a sudden when it hits the mainstream, oh, I can't be associated with these bills. We know that the American people doesn't want internet censorship, and if I say I'm for it, chances are I'm getting voted out next term. So all of a sudden all of the lawmakers flip-flop, and pretty much the support for these bills is dead in the water. Now, yes, I say yes, absolutely, let's celebrate. Let's take a time out, a minute here, to say we did a great job. All of us, collectively on the internet, have now shown that we are a force to be reckoned with. Not to say that it's just me, I'm talking about all people who spoke out against SOPA, PIPA, and these internet censorship bills, starting way back with S.978, which was what I had originally started to talk about in July of 2011, which would have basically tried to make me a felon and put me in jail for 5 years for putting up videos on the internet, which is absolutely preposterous. So, we did it. Together we did. We proved that we, as a force, as a people, we can speak up and we can make change. Whether or not you're American or not, but if you're American, holy crap, did we just prove that the democratic process can work as long as we really drive it home? It doesn't have to be mainstream. It took us 6 months to do it, but after 6 months we finally strummed up enough information, enough awareness of these bills that finally the media blackout couldn't black it out anymore, and as soon as it hit the mainstream, that was it. Those bills were dead in the water. So everyone breathe a sigh of relief. We can relax for now. I feel a lot better about 2012 right now because I thought that my job was going to be on the line, and now I'm feeling a lot better about what's this year. I'm feeling a lot more positive about what's going to happen this year. So that's great. However, keep in mind, this doesn't mean that we can now be lazy and we can be lackadaisical and we can ignore the fact that they'll probably try to do similar stuff in the future, if not bring back the same bills in the future. Just because they're dropped now doesn't mean that 6 months down the line someone might get a bright idea to try to bring it up again, okay? And there are other things out there that may threaten the internet in the future. I'll be keeping my eye on them. I already know of a couple of them that already exist in people now. They're like, oh, well, SOPA and PIPA's dead. Let's see what the next worst thing is. And then they start, you know, I've already started getting messages about ACTA and other bills and things that are going on. For now, we're okay. If it gets serious to the point where one of those bills, again, and I'll keep an eye on it, because this is important to me, as much to me as it is to you, obviously more for me, because this is my way that I make my income and I support myself. I'll stay on top of it, and I will let everyone know what's going on, and if another bill does pop up and it gets to the point where SOPA and PIPA where it's very risky that they might actually get passed into law, and I'll keep everyone informed, okay? So for everyone over the past 6 months, I want to give a very special thank you to anyone who did spread the word, who did support, who wrote their senator, who sent emails, who made phone calls, who put up protests. Anyone, if you did any one of those things at all, if you just simply told one person about these internet censorship bills, look what it accomplished. This is the power of democracy, okay? Thank you. We exercised our right to speak. Because we did, the issue became widespread, went to the mainstream, and we stopped it. So thank you, everyone. For now, we're safe, but I'll let you know if anything changes, okay? Okay, so that's all said. Now, what I would like to do is move on to some positive and negative things, but let's talk about Project 7, okay? Project 7. I have some good news to report, a little bit of negative news, but it's not too bad, just kind of like a roadblock. So here, let's get started. First of all, as you know, Project 7 debuted here on DSPGaming on January 14th, 2012, and to huge views and huge acclaim. Let me tell you, we personally, when we made it, we were putting a goal, setting a goal. We would really like it to reach 100,000 views. So if we can get 100,000 views on each episode, we at least feel that we're doing something that has reached a good amount of people. Now, keep in mind, we knew it wouldn't hit 100,000 unique people. It was probably going to be maybe 50,000. Maybe some people watch it multiple times, etc. So that was really our goal that we were shooting for, and we wanted to get some positive feedback. We didn't think that, we didn't know how awesome it would be. Well, in 1 week, Project 7's pilot episode has accumulated just under 160,000 views. So we have far exceeded what our goal was just for that, initial run. Now keep in mind, it's only been a week. This episode over time will accumulate more views. We're sure that when new episodes come out, people will want to go back and rewatch the original episodes. People who see the new episodes for the first time may not have seen episode 1. Maybe they're just seeing part 2 for the first time, and so they want to go back and see episode 1. So we know that this is going to get way more views in the long run. We're very pleased with the amount of views that it got in just 1 week. So thank you to everyone. And also, overwhelmingly positive feedback regarding Project 7. I mean, there's something like over 4,000 comments, I believe, on the video. Or it might be, I'm sorry, that might be thumbs up. I know there's over 4,000 thumbs up on the video, and several thousand comments, most of which are people who really liked the series and are looking forward to the next episode. So, being that we were kind of waiting a little bit to see what the feedback would be on this episode, I am very pleased to announce that we are going to begin working on episode 2 of Project 7 this week coming up. I'm going to meet with John and Howard. We're going to sit down. We're going to map out the episode, what we want to do. We're going to do storyboarding, and it's going to be pretty interesting. So we're really excited. We're hoping that once we get that done, then we can meet again, write the dialogue, get the supplies or whatever we're going to need for this episode, and then hopefully our goal is to have it filmed and edited and completed by the end of February. So we've got about a month, roughly a little bit longer than a month to work on this. Now keep in mind that once we write it, we do the dialogue, we get all the supplies, we film, and we wrap filming, there's still several weeks of editing that need to happen in order to get Project 7 to be as good as it looked that first episode. So we need to really work hard to get this done, and we're going to really commit to getting this done by the end of February. More information on that as we get closer, obviously. Okay, so that's one really positive thing. A little bit of negative news and then some more positive news. A little bit of negative news is that this week, John Rambo and OJ were working to set up an online store through Google to sell Project 7 merchandise, including the t-shirts that we had at MagFest. Also, the John Rambo Presents the Show t-shirt, which he has made several of, and people have been, having interest in purchasing those. And for those of you who have watched the MagFest 2012, the New York Comic Con footage that we did, the candles that OJ makes, he also has lots of those that he was going to start selling online. So we went through this whole process of trying to get this set up. We got a certificate, which is like a security certificate to sell stuff online. It took several days. Finally, as of yesterday, we get the thing up and okay, we can finally do it. And as it goes live, we find out there's all these problems. Certain people can't purchase, certain people can't. If you're outside the US, it wasn't even allowing people to buy it, which makes no sense. It's our job to set up shipping, so why on earth wouldn't Google accept a payment from an international person? Apparently there's all kinds of securities and laws. I don't know what it was, but basically it didn't work. We knew that a lot of our fan base is 50% of our fan base, it's been proven, is international, and all of a sudden when we turn on the store, international people can't even buy anything, so the store's off. It was at geekfiregifts.com, but as of now, the store is officially off. I guess we're kind of regrouping. I don't know, because I'm not really involved in this whole process. But I guess OJ and John are regrouping. They're trying to figure out what to do next. We will eventually be selling these t-shirts and these candles. We're trying really hard. The problem is that apparently it's not as easy as it first looked to set up these stores and have them work properly. So more information on that as it occurs. I don't want to jump the gun and say, oh, we'll have it done this week, because I have no clue. It could be fixed tomorrow, or it could take a whole long time. We might have to use a whole nother route in order to get this working, but I'll let you know more information as it happens, okay? One last little tidbit of info, I guess, to end this channel update. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, there's one more thing at the very end that I would like to request. But before we get there, one more thing regarding Project 7, and this is pretty good news. I'm excited about this. I did speak with Machinima, which is, you know, the company who I'm contracted with. As you know, I'm partnered through them. That's why I have ads on all my videos on my gaming channels. And I'm also a Machinima director, meaning that if I ever want to, I can upload a video of mine to the Machinima Respawn webpage here on YouTube, and it will get ads, and based off of the amount of views that it gets, I get paid a certain amount of money. And it's good because it gets exposure. Right now, the Project 7 is only on DSPGaming and nowhere else. To put it on Machinima will open it up to an entirely new audience. And a lot of people have said, well, that could be a double-edged sword, Phil. Understand, the Machinima audience, especially the people who go to those things like Respawn, a lot of them are just looking for Call of Duty. They're only looking for Battlefield. They're not looking for any other footage. They're just FPS heads. I understand that, but there is other stuff on Respawn. And after showing Project 7's pilot episode to my contact at Machinima, he actually gave me some pretty honest feedback. He says, well, listen, future episodes, I recommend, if you want to put them on Machinima, have more gaming-related stuff. And I said, absolutely, that's exactly where we were going. The pilot episode of Project 7 was more to have inside references for longtime fans. Now, we're going to really start to heavily get into gaming. You're going to see lots of gaming references and gaming things used in these future episodes. So that will definitely happen in the future of Project 7. He also wanted to know, gee, how many episodes do you have ready right now? I said, well, right now we only have one. We were waiting to release it to see what the feedback was before we started working on the second episode. And he said, well, let me put it to you this way. With Machinima, we want to have several episodes lined up so we can start releasing them, say, weekly or bi-weekly, to really strum up interest with the people. If you only put one episode out and nothing for a month and a half, people will completely forget about it and not care. But if you put episode 1 up on 1 week, episode 2 up the next week, episode 3 up 2 weeks later, there's a higher chance to hook an audience that want to keep seeing these episodes. And so what they want us to do is actually continue work on episode 2, let them know when that's done, and then possibly even episode 3, and then they're looking to possibly have this be a series that they will air on Machinima Respawn. So there's interest there, but for their model, they know what works, and they know what works is if I have several episodes lined up. So more on that as that approaches, as well as we get further into the series. We may be looking to air stuff on Machinima Respawn. So I'll let you know more about that. My attitude going into it, I know putting it over there will be massive flaming. There will be assholes who are like, this isn't FPS footage, this sucks, the acting's blah 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 blah, because they're not going to get it. But here's my thing. One person, if I get one person's attention over on Machinima, from them, you know, being exposed to the series over on Machinima Respawn, and they look at it and they like it, and they come over and they watch it from now on, then I've done my job, because there's absolutely nothing to lose. The series is going to continue to be a hit here on DSPGaming no matter what. This would be an additional outlet for the series. Okay. 2 more things to talk about, and then I'm done with this channel update. I have an interesting announcement for everyone. This is cool regarding Project 7. We have actually been contacted by and spoken with the band Year 2000X, who actually performed live at MagFest 2012. For some footage of that, just check out my MagFest 2012 playlist. I've got probably 4 songs from those guys. I was a little bit late to their concert, but I love their music. And they contacted me and personally thanked me for filming that because they said they've never had someone film their concert before, and they saw how many views that it got some pretty decent views on YouTube, and obviously they're trying to spread the word about their band. Well, we've gotten permission to use their music as part of the soundtrack for Project 7 in future episodes. So we're ecstatic. We are absolutely ecstatic because this is exactly what we need. We need music that's music we can get permission to use without paying massive licensing fees or getting into copyright issues. We can use their music because they've given us a written contract where it was just a communication, but we have written permission from them to use it. And if you haven't checked it out, check out their website. I think it's is it 2000xband.com? Hold on one second because I'm going to find it. It's right here. It is year2000xband.com. Check it out. And if you go to their music section, you can get some previews of some of the music that they made. And they actually are sending me their very first album. I believe that later this year they're actually going to be cutting a new album. And when that comes out, that'll be amazing too, because now I'll have 2 albums of video game related rock cover music that we can use in Project 7. Not to say this is the exclusive soundtrack, we may be using more music from other sources, but it's awesome to have something like that to draw upon for this series, and that's a major announcement, so I just wanted to give them a plug. Great band and good people, and I look forward to working with them and being able to promote their music through the series. So that's awesome. Okay, so now to end off this episode of the channel update, I have a request for you if you're good at graphical design. Here's the thing. As you know, I have a logo. It's my face. That logo right here, my face. This is kind of like a parody of the Obama Hope logo that came out, 4 years ago before he was voted in, and now people apparently don't like him anymore. But I like this logo a lot, and I've been using it on a lot of stuff, on t-shirts, on my website, on my Twitter page. But it's finally, kind of come to my attention, gee Phil, for a year now you haven't really looked like this anymore. Now you have a goatee, and now I even have the longer hair, as you can see. And I don't really look much like this anymore. So what I would like to ask is if anyone has some time, if you'd maybe like to update this logo, and if you want the full logo, I believe you can get it right off my Twitter page. It has the full-size logo there. But if you can update this to have, a goatee and my longer hairstyle or whatever, I think it would be a lot cooler, because a lot of people are saying this is outdated. It's cool, it's a really neat thing, it's iconic, people know me by that logo, but why not update it for your current look that you've had for a year now? And I guess that's a really good point. So if anyone has a chance, anyone wants to take a shot at it, I'd appreciate it. And you can send it to me either in a YouTube PM, you can post it up on my website. There's a whole section there for logos and artwork if you want to take a stab at it. Over at thekingofhate.com, check out that area of the forums. I believe it's under, I think it's in like DSP's playthroughs, logo and artwork for show, something like that. That's the actual thread. You can post it up in there, or shoot me an email, darksidephil@hotmail.com. Let me know what you whipped up. I would love to see if someone could do something similar to this with my new look. And that's really it. So, oh, by the way, one last thing. It's kind of popped up in my head. People have been asking me, why am I wearing these beanie caps, in my videos recently? Because of my hair. I mean, I have long hair now. I don't have short hair like I used to, where every day it looked great. And let's be honest, for a perfect example is today. Well, really it was Saturday, because I'm filming this very late on Saturday. It's not going to be uploaded until Sunday, but it was a snowstorm in Connecticut. I didn't even go out today. So no, I didn't do my hair. I was sitting around finishing up Metal Gear Solid 2 HD, my playthrough of it. I didn't even go out today. I had one meal I cooked here, so I'm not going to do my hair, and especially if I want to do a channel update, I don't want to have to put shit in my hair just to do a channel update, so I just throw on one of these, and it's quick and easy, and I look good. So voila. Alright, so thanks. That's it for the channel update. Thanks a lot. I know it was informative and a lot of information to absorb, but at the same time, a lot of good positive stuff. A lot of people are asking me what's coming up this week gaming footage-wise. I don't know yet, but I'm going to think about it, and when I do come out with my weekend preview, either Sunday night or Monday, I'm going to decide and I'll let everyone know. So that'll be forthcoming. But for now, thanks for watching this channel update. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you guys later.